Person at the jail, what is your name?
William D. Lloyd.
This is case number 254224 FY, the people of the state of Michigan versus William Douglas Lloyd. Sir, you gave an address on Stockwell Road in Marion. Is that a good mailing address for you?
I don't have a physical mailbox there. I get my mail at P.O. Box 254, Marion, Michigan. That is my address, though.
Is the zip to Marion 49665?
Yes, sir.
And the last four of your phone number of 4084?
Yes.
Did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office today?
I'm not sure what you mean. I'm sorry.
Did you meet with somebody from the public?
Yes.
All right. I have a complaint that alleges that on or about September 26, 2025, in the city of Cadillac of Wexford County, it is alleged in count number 1 that you committed the offense of carrying a concealed weapon, specifically a Ruger 357. That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison and or a fine of $2,500 with mandatory forfeiture of the weapon. In count number 2, it is alleged you committed the offense of carrying a concealed weapon with a North American Arms 22 pocket pistol. That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison and or a fine of $2,500 with mandatory forfeiture of the weapon. In count number 3, it is alleged that you committed the offense of carrying a concealed weapon, 3 double-edged throwing knives. That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison and or a fine of $2,500 with mandatory forfeiture of the weapon. In count number 4, it is alleged that you committed the offense of weapons carrying concealed, a 40 caliber Ruger pistol. That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison and or a fine of $2,500 with mandatory forfeiture of the weapon or device. In count number 5, it is alleged that you committed the offense of license documents plates forgery. That is a felony punishable by up to 1 to 5 years in jail or prison and or a fine of $500 to $5,000. In count number 6, it is alleged you committed the offense of controlled substance possession of methamphetamine. That is a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison and or $15,000. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties?
I do, sir.
On felony complaints, you have certain rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or write can and will be used against you. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney during any questioning that you consent to, and you have the right to stop answering questions. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney at all stages throughout this process. And if you could not afford one will be appointed to represent you at public expense, but you may be required to repay a portion of that expense. Do you understand that?
I do, sir.
Today, do you plan to hire an attorney, represent yourself, or request the appointment of an attorney?
At this point, I request the appointment. I cannot afford one. I just got back on track working.
And what is your source of income?
I work for myself. I do construction. Like I said, I just got back to it. I've been down and out with this diabetes that I got injected with, and haven't really been able to work until recently, and just getting back going. I have an account that has a lot of work. I just need to be there to do it. That's where I'm at. I can't afford anything.
Court will make a referral. I'll make a referral to the public defender's office for the appointment of an attorney, enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, and set the matter for a preliminary examination. That's a hearing that's held here in the district court within 21 days. At that hearing, the prosecution is required to prove 2 things. 1, probable cause that these crimes had occurred, and 2, probable cause that you were the person who had committed the offense. If the prosecution is not able to do that, the case will be dismissed. However, if they are able to do that, you'll be ordered to stand trial in circuit court. Prior to the preliminary examination, there'll be a probable cause conference. That is where your attorney and the prosecutor will get together to see if there's a way to resolve the case short of going to trial. You also have the right to have a bond set. Your bond is based upon the probability of you appearing at future court appointments, the seriousness of the offense charged, and the threat that you pose to the public. Historically, counsel in 02, I show larceny by conversion. In 22, attempted operating without security and unlawful plates. And then in 05, there was a possession under 7411. And the praxis scores him at a risk level 0. Any comment regarding bond, Ms. O'Meara?
Yes, Your Honor. While the allegations are facially rather serious, I would state that I believe the allegations are that Mr. Lloyd had an expired CPO, and the vehicle that he is alleged to have been in when he was alleged to possess the drugs as a work vehicle that is frequented by many people. He has community ties. He's lived in Marion for the past 20 years. He owns a business. As I mentioned, he's diabetic. Being in jail with the level of diabetes, the diabetes care he requires is rather taxing. He has family in the courtroom, parents and his wife. He also has 2 children that live with him. One of them is 19, one is 16. Again, while the charges are rather facially serious, I don't believe he poses a threat to the community. He has strong community ties. He plans to appear, and I think that any fear of public safety can be stymied with supervision. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Lawrence?
Thank you, Your Honor. I do think these charges are serious. Officers, after the defendant consented to a search of his vehicle, found multiple firearms as well as methamphetamine. I think the combination of firearms and illegal substances is concerning to the people. Given that, we would ask for random drug testing as well as a $25,000 cash bond.
I do realize the praxis scores him at a risk level 0, so low risk, but I do not believe it fully takes into account all the factors that should be involved, that should be considered by the court when considering public safety. In particular, we are dealing with 3 concealed firearms. One, at least from my reading of the probable cause affidavit, is loaded, fully loaded, with one in the chamber in his coat pocket, or at least the pocket of his person. And then 2 more are fully loaded with one in the chamber in the vehicle. The probable cause affidavit does indicate that he had an expired CPL that expired in 23. What is also concerning to the court is that that was never disclosed to law enforcement, the fact that he had these concealed weapons. And usually that is something that a person who has a CPL would do. I understand that he does not have that CPL, but presumably he would have gone through the training for that. So I don't believe that the praxis accurately scores the risk that the defendant poses. Additionally, well, I don't know how much methamphetamine was found in the vehicle, allegedly found in the vehicle. It is also concerning that we have concealed weapons, loaded weapons, and methamphetamine. I believe a defendant poses a threat to the community. I also believe a monetary bond is appropriate. Mr. Lloyd, as a condition of your bond, you are to appear as ordered, keep your contact information current, not leave the state without permission, and to commit no new crimes. I'm going to order that you not purchase or possess any firearms or weapons, that you not act in any threatening, intimidating, or harassing behavior. I'm also going to set bond at $25,000 cash surety. I'm sorry, I need to back up. I was looking at the wrong praxis. This praxis scores him at a risk level 2, which is still low risk for the reasons I stated before. I do not believe that it adequately takes into account the nature of the allegations. He scores a 2 due to the highest charge being a felony, and that he had prior, not convictions for this behavior, but prior convictions as an adult. Again, I'll set bond at $25,000 cash surety. Thank you, jail.
Thank you.
All right, this is case number 254218FY, the people of the state of Michigan versus Colby C. O'Neill. Mr. O'Neill, you met with someone from Community Corrections today, and you gave an address on Spencer Road. Is that an accurate address?
Yes, sir. I've been there for 5 years, about 7 years ago.
Okay, and a phone number ending in 1651. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office today?
I did, Your Honor.
I have a complaint that alleges that on or about September 27th, 2025 in the the city of Manton in Wexford County, it is alleged that you committed the offense of possession of a narcotic 50 to 449 grams. That is a misdemeanor. That's a felony punishable by up to 20 years in prison and or a fine of $250,000. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties?
I do, Your Honor.
On felony complaints, you have certain rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or write can and will be used against you. You also have the right to have an attorney present during any questioning that you consent to, and you have the right to stop answering questions at any time. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney at all phases throughout this process, and if you could not afford one, one be appointed to represent you at public expense, but you may be required to repay a portion of that expense. Do you understand that?
I do, Your Honor.
Today, do you plan to hire an attorney, represent yourself, or request the appointment of an attorney?
Request the appointment of an attorney.
What is your current source of income?
I am on disability, Your Honor. And I own a food trucking business, although not operating at this moment, but I am on disability.
All right. The court will make a referral to the public defender's office for the appointment of an attorney. Will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf and will set the matter for a preliminary examination. That's a hearing that's held here in the district court within 21 days. At that hearing, the prosecution will be required to prove two things. One, probable cause that the crime had occurred, and two, probable cause that you were the person who had committed the offense. If the prosecution is not able to do that, the case would be dismissed. But if they are able to do that, you'd be ordered to stand trial in circuit court. Do you understand that?
I do, Your honor.
Prior to the preliminary examination, there'll be a probable cause conference. That's where your attorney and the prosecutor will get together to see if there's a way to resolve the case short of going to trial. You also have the right to have a bond set. Your bond is based upon the probability of you appearing at future court appointments, the seriousness of the offense charged, and the threat that you pose to the public. Historically, counsel, I show in 02, driving license suspended, 04, operating without insurance, 06, driving license suspended second, 07, driving license suspended second, 07, driving license suspended second. Same charge for 09. In 11, there was an operating while visibly impaired. In 24, use of cocaine, 25, possession of a narcotic less than 25 grams. Lien indicates that he is currently on probation for a possession of narcotic less than 25 grams until April of next year. The praxis scores him at a risk level 3. Any comment regarding bond from the defender's office?
Yes, sir. Mr. O'Neill built a house in Alaska that he's lived in for the past 7 years. He owns a business that, well, you mentioned, it's not operational. It's a gourmet mac and cheese food truck. He's currently on disability, fighting leukemia. He told me it's in remission, which is good, obviously. Like you mentioned, he's on probation at Seago, but to my knowledge, he has not been violated to this point. Although I would give him the charges, not imagine that will. He also has a 12-year-old child who has partial custody along with 4 other children. I don't think that the criminal history or the allegations paint a picture of someone who is a threat to anyone other than himself, and I believe that pretrial supervision could prevent any threat to the community with custody and any additional monitoring requirements as the court sets forth. And I would ask for a personal recognizance bond. Thank you.
Thank you. Prosecutor's office.
Thank you, Your Honor. This event stemmed from a traffic stop for weaving in and out of the lane. Eventually, officers found 6 baggies containing cocaine that were hidden underneath the vehicle. These baggies totaled in weight to 6.1 ounces, which is extremely concerning to the people, especially given the fact that the defendant had made some comments about trying to pay his bills. One could assume what he was planning on doing with that much cocaine. Given that, the people are going to ask for random drug testing as well as a $25,000 cash bond. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Lawrence, from what I read from the probable cause affidavit, the 6.1 ounces allegedly was found under the hood in a magnetic box. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. Corrections, do we know, is there a probation hold on him at all?
I would have to check, Your Honor.
All right. All right, the court does find that at a risk level 3, which is a medium risk, the fact that defendant is on probation at the time of the offense for a possession of narcotic charge, I do believe that there is need for supervision in this case pretrial. I also find that given the amount of alleged cocaine found under the hood, 6.1 ounces of cocaine, I can honestly say in my years of working in this system, I don't think I've seen that much cocaine found in a vehicle in this area. So I do find that the defendant does pose as a threat. Bond was set at $100,000 over the weekend. I'm going to reduce that to a $50,000 cash or surety bond. No, I was at 25,000 cash or surety with the following conditions: that, sir, you appear as ordered, keep your contact information current, not leave the state without permission, and to commit no new crimes. I'm also going to order that you not consume or possess any drugs, including recreational marijuana. You'll be subject to random testing. Anything else, Ms. Lawrence? Ms. O'Meara? Thank you, Jail. Next arraignment.
Can I ask a question, Your Honor?
As long as it's not about the facts of the case, what would you like me to know?
I was just trying to understand how much is my bond that I have to come up with.
So your bond is set at a $25,000 cash or surety, and the jail will be able to help you get in contact with a bonding agent there.
So is it 10% of the 25 or 25 completely?
It's either 25,000 cash or a $25,000 surety bond.
Gotcha.
This is case number 254223 OD, the people of the city of Cadillac versus Devon McQueen. Mr. McQueen, you read and signed this advice of rights form?
Yes.
The information you contained on the back of it, your contact information, is that accurate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you actually read and sign that advice of rights?
Yes.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office today?
Yes.
I have a complaint that alleges that on or about September 28th, 2025, in the city of Cadillac of Wexford County, it is alleged that you committed the offense of operating while intoxicated. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail, a fine of not more than $500, suspension and revocation of driver's license, vehicle mobilization for not more than 180 days. Ignition interlock is possible, along with community service, rehabilitative programs, and reimbursement for the cost of prosecution and governmental expenses. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties?
Yes, I do.
You do have the right to be represented by an attorney at all phases throughout this process, and if you could not afford one would be appointed to represent you, but you may be required to repay a portion of that expense. Today, do you plan to hire an attorney, represent yourself, or request the appointment of an attorney? All right, what is your current source of income?
Very much.
What do you do?
I'm a carpenter.
All right. Are you employed by somebody?
Yes, I am.
All right. The court will make a referral to the public defender's office for the appointment of an attorney, will enter not guilty plea on your behalf, and will set the matter for a pretrial. That's where your attorney and the prosecutor will get together to see if there's a way to resolve the case short of going to trial. You also have the right to have a bond set. Your bond is based upon the probability of you appearing in future court appointments, the seriousness of the offense charged, and the threat that you pose to the public. It looks like a $250 bond was posted over the weekend. Is that accurate? All right. And counsel, I do not show a prior history for this defendant. Any comment regarding bond from the defender's office?
Yes, I just note that he appears on his own court today. The bond was previously posted and asked that it be. Thank you.
Prosecutor's office?
Your Honor, this was a traffic stop for defective headlights. There was clear signs of intoxication from the defendant. We are waiting on a blood draw. We'll just ask for random alcohol testing. We will be found at the discretion of the court.
Was there a PBT done at all?
There was not, Your Honor.
Well, the defendant does not have a prior history. He appears today, so I do not find him a threat or a flight risk, so I will continue bond as previously set. However, given that this is a drunk driving case, I am going to order that you not consume any alcohol and you'll be subject to random testing. I'm also going to order that you not consume any illegal controlled substances, including recreational marijuana, and you'll be subject to testing for that as well. Additionally, you are to appear as ordered, keep your contact information current, not leave the state without permission, and to commit no new crimes.
Sir.
All right. I'll need you to go out to the front window where you checked in, get a copy of your next court date. You'll probably have some paperwork to fill out for the defender's office, and then you'll need to go downstairs to community corrections to get signed up for testing. All right. Thank you. Court next call is Natasha Faust.